Dear Misty, I'm talking to two different guys. One of them is 4 years older than me, and one of them is 10 years older than me. And they wanted to know my thoughts on age differences, and if it's a big deal or not. My answer is yes and no. Age is a big deal when you're younger, especially when you're in education, meaning schooling of any kind, high school or college. If you're going to school, if you're, let's say for example, if you're a freshman, there's a big difference between a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. Big. And if you're a junior, you're about 16, 17, there's a big difference between a junior and a senior. And a senior and a sophomore and all that. I'm not saying one grade up, one grade down, one age up, one age down is that big of a deal. But freshmen and seniors, and that's a huge difference in school. When you're focused on education and you're focused on developing, there's a lot of differences because they're a completely different place in their life than you. You're focusing on going into a new high school. They're focusing on college. Or you're learning how to drive and they're worried about getting a scholarship to the next school. There's just so much difference. Now, me personally, I've never been attracted to people younger than me until I got over 30 years old. I'm still attracted to people much older than me. That's still my attraction. But I'm more attracted to maturity than age. If, because after, and this is the way I see it, and this is the point of my random thought. Now, I have limited it to, if you're old enough to get into a bar, meaning if you're 21 years of age and older, I would consider talking to you. I prefer someone over 30. I prefer someone over 40 possibly, because I'm attracted to stability and security and maturity. And, the younger kids can't help but be sexually promiscuous and, adventurous, and they need to sow those oats before they can reap them. And am I answering your question? But the reality is, the older you get, the point of my story is, the older you get, the less age matters. When you're both in your 20s or you're both in your 30s, 40s, it really doesn't matter. I guess the defining factor is, do you still live at home with your parents? And does he or she still live at home with their parents? That's going to change everything. Even if you're 30 years old and you live at home with your parents, your mental maturity is much different than somebody that doesn't, that's been on their own since they were 17. They might be more advanced than you. I guess it's really hard for me to answer your question because I don't know how old you are. But age does not matter after you move out on your own and you become an adult in the big bad world. Once you're 21 years of age and older, everyone else is basically in the same boat as you, in my opinion. And for me to date someone that is not legal to get into a bar, I don't think will ever happen. First of all, what do we have in common? And are you really dating me just because you want to be able for me to sneak you into a bar? Because that's not going to happen either. Why am I going to risk my job so that you can sneak in and see a drag show? Why am I going to risk my job so that you can, whatever, be a party person? That's not worth it. So are you really trying to be with me, or are you trying to use my connections? What do we have in common? You're just not on my level. Now, I've been shocked. I've dated people that I thought were in their 30s and were in their early 20s, and I was like, what? But again, I'm attracted to maturity level. And again, I've been tricked and psyched out. But, as a general rule, the older you get, the less age matters. There. That was Ask Misty. Thanks. Bye.